Spy the Cat. Our prompt is, the prologue to Spy Cat describes how Pete and Peg write books together. Think about Peg's and Pete's approach and style to writing and their individual personalities. Write an original story that shows the first time Peg and Pete write together. Be sure to use details in your story that demonstrate Peg's and Pete's distinctive qualities. Before we begin, we have to remember and be aware that not every paragraph is going to be from the same speaker in the story. Think about who is speaking and why are they saying the things that they do. Prologue from Spy Cat. Every animal, human or other, needs work that matters. I am Pete the Cat, and I have more than one important responsibility. I am an excellent lap warmer, a fearless protector of my family, and a published author. You are reading my second book, and I must say that this part of my job doesn't get any easier. When I first approached the keyboard, I had no desire for literary fame. I wanted to write because I had heard that every computer has a mouse. Then I got interested in the story that my person Peg was working on, so I began to add my ideas to hers. We ended up writing a novel together, and we had fun doing it. When I first discovered that my big white and brown cat Pete knows how to read and write, I was shocked. His papers on the Humane Society said, "Good with children," but there was no hint of any literary ability, so you can imagine my surprise when he began adding pages to the book I was writing. I know how to talk too, but she hasn't yet learned to understand me. Humans think they are smarter than the rest of us animals when any cat knows it's the other way around. In the first book that Pete and I co-authored, The Stranger Next Door, I wrote the parts about people and he wrote the parts about the cat. We did that with this book too. His parts are in the bold so you can tell which ones they actually are. Actually, the cat's parts are in italics because they are the most important. I thought Pete would get tired of writing after the first book, but when I started this story, I left my computer on at night, in case he wanted to add something. Sure enough, the next morning, there were 2 pages told from the cat's point of view. She hasn't grown tired of writing, so why should I? Writing is challenging, fun, and satisfying, like catching a fly. I used to spend my nights batting at catnip-scented balls and trying to wake up my people. Now I write novels because novelists get to go to the bookstores and put their paw prints in their books. No one ever got famous by playing with catnip balls. All the characters in this book, except one, are fictional. I'm sure you'll be able to tell which one is real. There's no need to make up a cat character when a clever, courageous, and capable cat like me was willing to be in the story. If you ever need to describe me, remember the 3 C's. It should really be 4 C's. Add 1 for corpulent. Corpulent? There isn't an ounce of fat on me. That uninformed veterinarian who suggested the diet cat food doesn't know muscle when he sees it. Having a cat as my co-author has worked well. The only problem we had on this book was when Pete kept changing the cover so that his name was in bigger letters than my name. Our editor vetoed that. I did most of the work, so I should get most of the credit, but I settled for Extra Kitty Num Num. Enough of this explanation. Here's the second story that Pete and I wrote together.